Hey guys, hope you're having an awesome day. Tonight, we're gonna be reading a couple of more creepypastas. I know October is over, but I didn't feel satisfied. I wanted to read a couple more throughout October. So today, I'm bringing you guys two more creepypastas. I like the feedback I got from you guys the last time I asked you to vote which one was scarier. So I'm starting a new thing called creepypasta battles, where I'm gonna read two pastas and you're gonna tell me which one is scarier or creepier or whatever. So today, the two creepypastas I will be reading you are Bob and Teddy. Number one is going to be Bob, number two is going to be Teddy. Let's get started with Bob. Andrew woke up with a start. He knew what had happened and his heart sank. The sound of the glass shattering downstairs had done the same to his nerves. It had come in. After weeks of watching and stalking him, the creature had finally decided to break in. The patio doors, made completely of glass, provided it with a perfect entrance. Andrew lay there in bed, in the blackness only illuminated by the small amount of clear light that the moon provided through the space between the curtains. He listened for the creature, listening to see if it was inside, secretly praying that everything would be silent. The terrifying cracking of glass under its feet confirmed his worst fear. It had finally made its way into his home. With this crushing realization, Andrew, now shaking, grabbed his titanium baseball bat and crept downstairs deeper into the darkness, determined to confront this thing once and for all, secretly hoping, though, that it would run away when it saw him as it normally did. Andrew stood at the bottom of the stairs, listening. At first, all he heard was the cracking of glass under the creature's feet. Then, for the first time, Andrew heard the creature, breathing heavily as if its throat was blocked by phlegm. The hideous creature snarled and clicked, gradually getting closer to Andrew. Now out of the kitchen, the creature was finally off of the glass. It walked almost silently now, strangely more agile than it looked, especially considering how clumsily it ran away. Andrew realized what he had to do. He grasped his weapon tighter and froze, unable to move. He knew he needed to attack it, but he just couldn't. Its teeth, its eyes, its skin, human but not quite. The creature was in the living room now and edging closer by the second, yet Andrew was still too terrified to move. Even if it didn't have arms, this creature was the embodiment of terror to Andrew. Andrew stood at the bottom of the stairs, shaking. He heard the creature getting ever closer, the sickening sound of its distorted breathing amplified by the almost pitch darkness. The creature was nearly at Andrew. He had one chance to kill it and he wasn't gonna waste it. The creature stepped into the doorway to the stairs. Andrew was hidden just to the left. He swung with full force, hitting the creature in the chest with the bat. The creature staggered back, then stopped and looked at Andrew, its tiny wild eyes staring into Andrew's soul. Andrew felt a deep fear of the creature, unlike anything he had ever experienced. The creature then let out a gurgled hiss at Andrew, baring all of its sickening, deformed teeth in the process. The creature kicked Andrew in the gut, winding him. Andrew fell to the floor in pain, unable to breathe. Andrew rolled onto his back and scuffled up against the wall just behind him. The creature watched him until he reached the wall, at which point it walked towards him and looked down at Andrew as if it were judging him, lying there, helpless. The creature stamped on his skin, snapping the bone. Tears began to stream from Andrew's eyes, the pain so intense Andrew thought he was going to vomit. Andrew, now incapacitated, had nowhere to go and no way to fight. The creature placed its foot on Andrew's stomach, pressing down, ripping into his flesh with its long, dirty toenails. With the creature's foot now completely inside his stomach, Andrew started to cough blood. Tears streamed down his face. He passed out from the pain, and then passed away. The creature loomed over what was now his bloody corpse. The creature descended his face towards Andrew and then tore away a bloody piece of flesh from Andrew's chin, dislocating one side of his jaw in the process. The creature continued to tear and eviscerate Andrew's corpse until everything the creature could stomach had been devoured. The creature then left, calmly, silently, with a pure and deep hatred in its heart. The creature left the same way it came in, through the broken patio doors. Well, dang. Sometimes it just sucks, when the story is focused around this one character and then they end up not making it. All I gotta say is I don't want to run into whatever killed Andrew. Whew. Well, that was Bob. Let's get started with the next story. Teddy. My sister had a teddy bear. A scary teddy bear. I do not know why, but it creeped me out. It was just so disturbing to me. The thing had eyes that looked so real. It was as if it was made from a real bear, and its face was just blank and unsettling. I first started to get weird feelings about the bear when my sister first got it. She was only a baby at the time, and I was about 4. We had a dog, you see, and he had a habit of eating things, so my mother always put it up on the small cabinet in the corner of the hallway upstairs. Every time I went up those stairs, I saw that creepy bear suddenly glare around the corner at me, as if it was watching me. This wasn't the weird part. It started to get really weird about 5 years later, at the age of 6 or 7. My sister had lost interest in the bear, so my mother just threw it in the old toy cupboard. The only problem was that the cupboard was in my room. When I was 9, old enough to stay on my own and go to bed without any assistance, I would get into my bed every night and turn my lamp off. This is when it got scary. As I was getting some sleep, I suddenly remembered Mom putting that teddy in the cupboard. I slowly turned to look across my room to see it through the glass. My heart suddenly stopped as I thought about the horrors the plush had caused me. But at the age of 9, I wanted to grow up and lose my fears, so I just shook it off and put my head on the pillow. When I got up to pull the sheets on a bit further, I noticed something that would scar me for life. There sat, at the end of my bedroom, the teddy. My heart started beating normally again. I sat there staring at it for about a minute. When I needed to yawn, I closed my eyes. I opened them to see the teddy sitting closer to my bed. At this point, I was really freaked out. I started to move back to the wall and looked around to see if there was any sign that anyone had come in. When I looked back to see the teddy on the end of my bed, I was so startled that I almost fainted from fear. When I blinked, it had gone. I looked around. To my relief, I saw no sign of it. I sat my head back on my pillow, hoping for some sleep. Then, I opened my eyes. It was above my head, staring down. I screamed as it lunged down at me. I will never see a bear the same way again. A few years later, after years of horror, I burned it. I sat in enjoyment as the bear was turned to smoking ashes in my fireplace. I have lived my teenage life through adolescence. The only thing I could remember that was in any way similar to my bad experience was when I watched Trainspotting. That freaking baby scene shocked me so badly, but other than that, all was well. When I turned 19, I was about to move into my new home. I had been given the keys to the house and was ready to set up my furniture. After hours of carrying, I carried the final box from the removal truck into the front door and shut the door behind me. I turned to go back into the kitchen and put it on the table. I opened it to see a cabinet. I took it out, walked into my new living room and placed it in the corner, staring at it, and thought to myself, I don't remember packing this cabinet. I didn't really care that much as I had just moved into my new home. I walked back into the kitchen to grab my television and brought it into the living room when I saw it. The teddy. It just sat there, staring at me. Ooh, wee, man, that was a little unsettling, dude. Just freaking inanimate objects, especially like dolls, bears, anything of that sort, I am just terrified of because of stories just like this. Tell me down below in the comment section which creepypasta was scarier, Bob or Teddy? This should be very interesting. These were both awesome creepypastas. So hopefully you enjoyed this creepypasta battle. If you did, be sure to samurai, smash that like button, subscribe today to join the samurai. And until next time, my brothers and sisters.